Welcome in, Greenville, to episode Trace of the Green Tea Podcast. We are now officially in session. We were going to have a gavel, but the gavel elapsed.
It disappeared.
And it's gone. Well, welcome back into the Green Tea Podcast. Always enjoy the beginning of these things because it's all right. We've gotten two under our belt, under our shoes, however we want to phrase it, and so it's kind of interesting that we keep trying to evolve this thing. So today's going to be interesting. I'm excited for this one today.
Oh, okay. I mean, it feels cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's because the air conditioning is on. Okay, we're just going to be corny today. That's what's going to happen.
That's it.
So we'll go into segment one, just like we always do, kind of giving you guys some event updates. And Ashley, you are our events girl, basically. So you've got our events for today. Hit the people with good news.
Yeah, so first and foremost, Friday, April, I'm in the wrong month completely. Friday, June.
It's going to be May, sorry.
It's going to be June.
I know, but it is.
Oh, it's May currently.
Who knows?
Friday, June 5th from 5 to 8 p.m. in downtown Greenville is the monthly First Friday Art Walk where you can go hang out downtown, grab something to eat, something to drink, go shop around, and hop on the Emerald Express trolley. You can go check out all the different exhibits and things that some of the galleries have going on. I would recommend following the Downtown Greenville First Friday Art Walk Facebook page and Instagram for a lot of the exhibits and things, exciting things that are going to be going on. So it's a great place to find that. And we'll also share it to the City of Greenville pages as well. On Friday, June 19th, the City of Greenville will be closed in observation of the Juneteenth holiday. But on Saturday, June 20th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Thomas Foreman Park, there is going to be a Juneteenth celebration. It is hosted by the City of Greenville, West Greenville Health Council, the Visit Greenville NC organization, and NC Healthy Blue. There's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be a super great event. So there's going to be live music by 7 till sunrise. They're going to have a bunch of local vendors, a bunch of local food trucks, and then also guided tours of the African American Cultural Trail, which I always love. Yeah. Those seats on those tours, though, they do fill up super quick. So if you go to the Facebook event page for the Greenville Juneteenth celebration, you can find a link to sign up for a free spot to guarantee your spot on one of those tours. I think there's only either 2 or 3 times that they're doing, so it's going to fill up quick and fast. So there might not be day of availability, so go get your spot. But it is free. It's open to the public. You can bring your lawn chairs and bring family, friends, and everything and celebrate Juneteenth. So,
and some stuff, celebrating, party.
Oh, sorry. I do have one more event.
Carry on.
It was a lot. Okay, so the last but not least, Sunday in the Park. So we are having Sunday in the Park still. It's at Wildwood Park this year. There is one June 7th with the British Invaders and June 21st with the Cruise Band. And so follow Greenville Recreation and Parks Department for updates about that. That's it for me in events.
I would say that was a mouthful.
It was a lot.
But I mean, it's starting. Besides the fact that it's summer and things are starting to heat up, there's a lot of stuff that ends up happening.
Heat up.
Hey, we're going to just be really punny today.
I love it.
I do too. So there's a lot of things that happen in those months. So
yes,
kind of excited to see everything that's happening.
And nobody can ever say there's nothing to do in Greenville.
Yeah, you really can't. There's at least something happening almost every. You can't say every day, but darn near every weekend for sure.
At least something. 6 out of 7 days a week. Because if you follow Visit Greenville and see, they are posting on Mondays all the stuff happening.
It's amazing how long that list is.
It's crazy, and that's not even the full list. That's just hey, this is just a snapshot. Yeah. So it's really good. But yeah.
Well, awesome. All right, well, that does it for segment one. We'll take a quick break here on the Green Tea Podcast and be right back for our second segment. This episode of the Green Tea Podcast is brought to you by the people who make this city worth talking about. From the downtown coffee shops to the trails at River Park North, we are powered by you. This podcast is officially sponsored by the citizens of Greenville. Thanks for being the best part of our community. And welcome back to the Green Tea Podcast, segment 2, our project updates segment. So got a lot of updates that we've got coming forward. And Ashley, you've got our first one because once again, we go outside.
We go outside, and it has to do with rec and parks, too, so I love it. So work at the River Birch Tennis Center is moving along with an expected reopening this coming July. So the work does include some resurfacing and some new lighting at the court. So, that tennis might be a little unavailable over there, but there are other places to go do that, and it'll be back open in July. And yeah, that's my first one.
Listen, and I'll continue the sports thing because we all
Sports.
You love sports so
Go
much.
Sports.
So a little update from the sports complex that's coming out here pretty soon. The design for the synthetic rectangular fields has been finalized, and the expectation is that the work on transforming the existing fields at the North Recreation Sports Complex will be completed in time to start hosting tournaments on the new rectangular fields at the complex in early of 2027. The city continues to move forward with other plans to establish diamond fields in the same vicinity. So again, kind of a foreshadowing of kind of what's going on here, but that is kicking off, and I know there's a lot of people that are super excited about having a complex here to start hosting some tournaments and really kind of drive up that economic development.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Next up is Wildwood Park, so back over to parks and kind of sports. I mean, this is sports too.
Yeah.
So the upcoming projects for Wildwood Parks include a fishing pier as well as a boardwalk on the park's west side. So this work has been advertised and bids are being accepted. So at some point, hopefully soon in the future, we will start seeing some construction going on and get that underway.
And from one park to another.
One park to
kind
another.
Of, sort of. It's the town common, I consider.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's a giant wooded area with the stage kind of makes it a little bit different, but there's a playground and stuff for kids to do, and there's trees and shade.
Like
it's a park.
We're
going to go there.
Central location that all big events happen that are currently not able to happen there.
We are very ready for that project to be done, which is segueing me into my last and final update. So the work remains on schedule as the bulkhead is getting replaced, adding other amenities as well. And the full park is expected to reopen in early 2027. It's kind of funny, you drive past that and you see some like borderline things and you're like, oh, I can't see what's happening there. So it's kind of hard to see all that status of things that are happening there. So kind of excited for that. And
but we do have photos that Aaron has been taking. Aaron Hines, our city photographer, has been taking.
Great guy.
Such
a great guy.
With his drone camera. So there are on our Flickr page some photos that people can go and check out and actually see the work that you can't see physically. You can see it.
You can flip through them.
You can flip through the photos.
Flip through the Flickr photos.
It's pretty cool to see. So I like it. Yeah.
All right. Well, awesome. So that does it for our project update section. We'll take another quick break, and then we will go into our final session and really kick it up a notch.
Is it closed or open?
We'll go with closed. We're going to go with closed session here coming up next. We got our special guest coming on for this episode. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
We know there's no such thing as too much barbecue, and we definitely know how to spill the tea. The Green Tea Podcast is brought to you by the neighbors you see at the Scullery and at the pit stops on the Brew and Q Trail. Sponsored by the citizens of Greenville. Thanks for keeping it flavorful.
Welcome back to the Green Tea Podcast. Our third session is now in order. We're just going to keep rolling with this. It's so much fun. Super excited to bring on to the podcast for episode 3, Mr. Scott Dixon.
How you guys doing?
Assistant City Attorney.
Welcome.
Very honored to be the third guest.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I was trying to think of like 3 puns and I can't like...
You guys are rocking it. You seem really professional. I like how prepared you are.
Oh my God, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. We try. Well, super excited to have Scott on. Really kind of, keep bringing different like viewpoints in different areas of the city. So kind of really coming out of left field with the attorneys. So this will be a fun one. So Scott, we'll kind of start it off with a little bit of, for people that don't know, you are a Pitt County native, but just kind of give us a little background of, your life growing up and how you kind of got into law and kind of found your niche of where you wanted and what kind of law you wanted to practice.
Well, born and raised right here in Penn County. Went to South Greenville, Epps, Rose, complete home product for sure. Played sports, did a little music. My mom was a music teacher, so Greenville weirdly has like a Suzuki kind of background, so there's like this weird Japanese orchestra training and stuff. So did all of that.
Definitely thought you were talking about the car.
I thought he was too. I
was like Suzuki.
I'm like, interesting.
Was absolutely one of those weird kids that kind of knew what he wanted to do at like 12. My dad had told me a story. He has practiced here for about like 40 years, and he had helped some kids that were in a really abusive situation. I think they were getting like burned with cigarettes and tied to a radiator. He was able to help them out of the situation. I think he ended up even walking the girl down the aisle. told me that story. Yeah, and you're just like, oh my God, if you can do that for like one person, it struck me as really purposeful and meaningful.
I liked your dad before, but...
Yeah, he's a doll baby. But if you really think of law, I mean, really many aspects of it are really somebody's like worst moment, whether it's like you're being arrested or you're getting a divorce or there's custody issues or somebody passes away or whatever. And I don't know, I just always kind of gravitated towards being somebody that could kind of help you in that moment. So it kind of very easily checked out for me to be like, oh, that clicks. I think that's something I could enjoy. So always knew I was going to do that. Went right here to ECU. That was really the only place I even contemplated going. Both my parents went there. I grew up going to like the away ECU football games, so just like ride or die, purple and gold. Double majored in political science and philosophy because that was kind of the best prep for law, and then went to law school over in Central Durham, just like my brother. So that was kind of the most affordable, reputable kind of law firm you could go to. Kind of an interesting niche in regards to the area. So my dad weirdly did corporate municipality work. So he represented about 20-something public bodies. He's currently counsel over at GC, did like Pitt Community College, like all that kind of weird stuff. My brother was doing pretty heavy criminal work, so I was kind of right in the middle. So I started out kind of doing both of those. So I did about 10 years of indigent criminal defense and some private criminal defense work, mainly juveniles and adults, and was also coupling that with being the town attorney for the town of Ayden and helping out the ABC board. And so after that, I mean, private practice and doing the indigent work can be pretty daunting, and like I think I took one vacation in like 7 years. So I was kind of looking to focus on something full time where I didn't have to worry about like employees and paying bills and all that fun stuff. Applied to city, came here, been here for about 2 years, I think. Time is fleeting.
It is.
It feels like it's been a lot longer than 2 years.
Yeah, I saw some pictures the other day and the beard's like way grayer already, and I'm like, unfortunate.
This is weird.
Not
How we
all
know
preaching
time
rocket
has
like
passed.
Ryan with the cool shirts and the long ones, it's fine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Something that I feel like is interesting because you talk about that journey, and ironically enough, like that's where at least you and I first kind of interacted, even though we didn't know at that point in time that was the interaction that was going to happen, was you being in a board of commission meeting with the Board of Adjustment, and you and your father both being in a case.
And you spying on me in the shadows.
Yes, in the back of the control room. And it's like, for anybody that's been a part of like boards and commissions, it's like the one that can most feel like a court case is the Board of Adjustment in my mind, as far as like when you get a really good case, that's where a lot of those kind of things come into play. So for me, it was interesting to see like you and your dad representing someone. The city had legal representation, and then the board had representation all at the same time. And it's like, how many attorneys can we fit in? Because I remember texting people going, how many attorneys can we actually have in one room at one time? Because hearing everybody argue with each other was probably the most comical thing.
It's always a fun time having about 6 attorneys in the room, for sure. Apologies in advance. I believe that hearing was like over 3 hours.
That was one of the 6-hour ones, actually.
Always nice when I can show up with my pops, though. And I do believe we won, so that's exciting. But yeah, Board of Adjustment and HPC are both set up to be quasi-judicial. So they have their own set of rules. There's opportunities to like cross-examine. There's like evidentiary standards.
HPC being Historic Preservation Commission. Okay.
But as you can imagine, most of the HPC is kind of making changes to your house or something like that. So generally speaking, not as controversial, nothing too problematic. BOA, very different thing. Whether it's like a property trying to get a special use permit or, there's just a lot of things that can kind of come up and be controversial. So whether that's a business somebody doesn't want, or their neighbor's trying to add something they don't want to do, or you're trying to, it could be like what is it, THCA shop or a dispensary shop that's kind of in here, or a gas station. We've seen that's been one of the most controversial items since I've been here. So all that's really interesting, but it's also cool you kind of get some insight into it because, as I think you guys are probably aware, those kind of boards and commissions can be set up 3 ways. They can either be advisory, they can be legislative, or they can be quasi-judicial. And that kind of nuance is lost, I think, on a lot of people, and they don't really necessarily understand like the parameters of it and stuff. So anytime you can provide that clarification and that exposure, I think it's really cool and interesting.
Yeah, that was something that I was going to ask you, just kind of like help give like almost kind of like a teacher in a way of like, could you lay out what a quasi-judicial board is, at least within the parameters of like our city and kind of how it works? Because I feel like that is, like you said, a lot of people get lost on, they'll come into a meeting thinking that, oh, there's a gas station coming up and I want to argue this, or I don't want it around my neighborhood, or you've got all these parameters they're worried about. Yeah. And then sometimes it's yeah, that's the exact right time you need to say something, and the other times they've come in either way too early or way too late, and they kind of don't understand that.
I'm just going to ask, while you're explaining this.
I like you guys are like, hey, Ken, do you like comic books? And Scott,
and we're like
intense legal questions.
Well,
no,
yeah,
I have fun questions, but Ryan went and jumped to the serious stuff right immediately.
Yeah.
All right,
So-
we'll get back to the
but
fun
like,
stuff.
when
I'm
you're
used to the abuse from
when you're
both of you.
explaining this, when you are explaining this stuff, can you like talk? Because I don't know a lot about the boards and commissions and the legal side of things. So act as if you're talking to me and not him, because he knows a little
All
bit.
exit stage
Yeah.
left.
So like make sure you dumb it
Just
down
for
me.
your own edification and
Dumb it
really
down for
everybody's
me.
edification. Honestly, though, this is kind of part of the gig. It really illuminates kind of what we do in the city attorney's office in many respects, is trying to explain that to the public and make sure they kind of understand what's going on. And honestly, it's one of the most frustrating things, I think, for people is not really understanding those boundary lines. So like, for instance, you show up to P&Z, this happens a lot. So
Planning and zoning.
Planning and Zoning Commission serves in kind of two capacities. So depending on whatever item it is, it could be just an administrative decision, which like there's not really a lot of discretion. The public's not really super involved. You can speak. They obviously want some transparency in how you were heard, but there's not a lot the board can necessarily do in regards to the decision making. But then they also have advisory function where they make a recommendation to the city council and stuff like that. So depending on what it is, you can see how that gets pretty murky and complicated pretty quickly. The biggest thing that I think comes up for them a lot of times is preliminary plats, where it's like they're trying to establish, hey, a plan for what this development's going to be or whatever. Well, the way we have that set up, it's just, does it comply with our ordinance, which makes it kind of an administrative decision. It's just kind of a checklist, like, okay, checks this box, you gave us everything we said we really need. If it satisfies that, you're good to go.
And a preliminary plat is like a
Just think of it
blueprint.
as like the first step of doing kind of a development, if that makes sense. But again, some people might, you could see how a neighbor might hear, oh, we're worried about flooding, or we're worried about like the impact it's going to have on our neighborhood or whatever. And they show up and they are like, stop it. And you're like, legally they can't, because it checks kind of every box. It's very different in like a quasi-judicial context. So the reason for the difference in treatment as far as the law is concerned is usually in quasi-judicial stuff, it involves like your property interest, or you're going to have some due process protections, because again, like it could be the government placing a restriction on me, or it could, stop me from trying to do what I'm trying to effectuate essentially. So that requires a heightened standard. You can kind of cross-examine. There's like, specific requirements that have to be showed. They have a little more discretion in how they're going to make those decisions. And then you kind of juxtapose that with a city council decision, which is just like entirely legislative. Like they're the elected body, they represent the public, like they have the authority to kind of make this. And even then, like depending on kind of what it is, there might be some limitations, and there's always going to be constitutional limitations in regards to kind of all these things. But I hope that's about as swiftly as I can run through those three types.
That's pretty clear.
But advisory doesn't really bind you in any way. It's really just like, hey, we think you should decide something this way.
But I feel like I want to add here, if anybody's listening and does have questions, you can pop those in the comments of our podcast, and we will follow up with Scott.
Yeah.
Because I talk to Scott at least every day.
I know, I'm always
Every
excited
single-
for the prospect and the inquiries, and I love to serve.
So I can be like,
ultimately.
Scott, listen to this question.
And I want you guys to know, Ashley can be very abusive to me. I come in, I'm like, hey, Ashley, how you doing? How was your weekend? And she's like, don't talk to me right now.
I haven't had my coffee.
I haven't had my coffee. You got too much energy. I'm not like it. Stay away from me.
Because sometimes you come in on 100.
Hey, man.
You got to roll past my office, then that's where the energy level's at.
Right,
First thing in the
yeah.
morning.
Well, Ryan told me he was going to wear a helmet for this podcast because he was going to be abusive, and then he made fun of my attire. So I want you guys to just be aware.
That's fair.
Both of these
Well,
things
it's
happen.
weird that it's Monday and you're not wearing a tie.
You're welcome. I did that to dress down for you
Yeah,
guys.
I told him to relax.
Be more comfortable.
Oh, I was
It is
fully
a
ready
curse
for
though.
like
one of the
tux.
things. Okay, that's just one of the things from private practice. That I would go to court every day, so you have to kind of wear a suit and tie. At this point, it's like I'm more comfortable in that than regular casual clothes. But you can get in trouble for not being dressed appropriately in court. So
Absolutely,
it's a tough habit
yeah.
to break. But I'll try to step on those Ryan shirts, see if I can step my game up.
I'm telling you, man.
Not all
it's-
of us possess that magnetism, man. We're not all that cool.
I just try to provide a beacon of light, Scott.
As you do, sir. As you do.
That's all it is. I'm going to let you get into. I have one
Well, because
quick
I'm like
question.
sitting here like dying on my topic.
I know you
so.
are. The quick question I have, Scott, is mostly just, it's kind of more of a like personal question in the sense of like how different is the change from going to practicing cases in a courtroom to now you're in some of these cases with some of these boards and commissions? Like, can you kind of like describe like what the difference for like you as an attorney feels like from you're standing in front of a judge, you're doing all these things compared to you're standing in front of a board of a bunch of citizens that are also ruling on things
I
that
feel like that'd be like less intimidating in some ways, but more in other ways.
It really just, I mean, it kind of just depends. But to answer your question, it's really the level of advocacy and what issues you're kind of dealing with. So, like, obviously, when I was doing indigent criminal defense, you have sex cases with juveniles, you have domestic violence, you have like shooting, like really significant, serious stuff. Not to say that the city stuff or the boards and commissions isn't as daunting or serious at times, but different stakes, I would say.
Like an intensity level.
Yeah, and also how you're advocating. Essentially, like if I'm representing you, I'm doing everything I can to ensure the state's,
That's fair.
Not intruding into your rights, and then I'm getting the best outcome I can for you, and making sure you're aware of everything that's kind of going. Well, in the city attorney's office, we represent the council essentially, so we're serving in all these kind of different capacities, and our job is to like limit liability, kind of call balls into strikes, I guess is kind of the best way to kind of frame it. And we got to do it in
sports, man.
Yeah,
I was just going to stay quiet.
But there is a nuance to it though, because you also have to be kind of ideologically neutral. Like I can't advocate for like a specific. I mean, I can have my own feelings, I can have my own thoughts on certain issues, but that's not what they want from us. Like our job is like, and you see, we've had a split council I think since I've been here, and like sometimes they don't agree on the direction they want. So our job is to tell you kind of the boundary lines, and like if you guys can all agree on what you want to do, like how can we best effectuate that in like the best. Legal route that's going to limit liability, And as far as the public, I mean, again, a lot of times it's really just communication and trying to illuminate kind of the stakes and what's going on and what kind of authority people do have, so that they're not confused or under a misconception about what can be done. I mean, take that Philadelphia ICE thing that came up at council the other day. A lot of that wasn't really requesting any action. It was really just like explain to the public what's going on. We had 20 or 30 people show up.
Oh my God, you said Philadelphia Ice, and I was like completely, I wasn't there, so in my head I'm like, is there a new ice cream shop coming?
Yeah, very different.
Oh my gosh, I feel
different, much more fun kind.
So different, and I'm so sorry. I'm
perspective.
going to apologize now.
But I mean, that was a situation where we had about 30 members of the public show up to like a few city council meetings. They all wanted to speak about it. It's a really contentious, kind of polarizing issue.
Yeah.
A lot of anxiety and stress is raised, and they're wondering, hey, what can be done? And essentially what council did, and I commend them for doing that, is, hey, come explain the situation, come explain the parameter, and you'll see like our setup is fundamentally different than their setup in Pennsylvania. Our level of authority is fundamentally different than theirs. There's state restrictions that they don't have, and all that you don't know unless you're going to dig into it. Why would you? So,
Yeah.
I hope that long, convoluted legal answer was sufficient.
If you don't give a long, convoluted answer, are you really a good attorney?
Honestly, but you are
To
very...
be honest, my skill set is really just writing and spewing this kind of stuff.
But you're very concise. Like, you're very, like, straight and to the point.
Okay,
And this is me. This is the most I think I've complimented you in a long time,
I know,
right?
it's because I'm being filmed. I'm aware.
And recorded.
Well, it's
obviously.
because I commend your wife so much on putting up with you.
Yeah, that's kind of a compliment, for sure. I just am so impressed that she can deal with you.
God bless her.
Yeah.
But on to, like, my topic, because I've been like, when are we going to talk about dogs?
Did it? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so
Should be the
I love dogs. I have 2 dogs. You have 2 dogs.
I got 2 puppies.
But you, in your notes to us, said 2 disabled pups.
They are both disabled, yes.
Okay, so tell me about your dogs.
So we adopted Marcy, who's AKA Mars Bars, is a pit mix. She's about like 30-something pounds. We got her from Charlotte. We tried to get her from a rescue spot. Found out she was deaf several months later. Pretty funny that my wife and I were kind of arguing about that because I refused to believe she was deaf right away. Because she would seem like she'd respond to you. She would not. We took her to the vet. The vet just bangs the thing. No reaction from the dog. We're like, yeah, she's a bit. She's absolutely can't hear anything. I later found out too. It's really common with like all white dogs. So essentially, like I don't know what it is.
That or blind, being blind.
Then Katie's best friend works with Eastern Pit Friends, where she fosters a lot of
Pit Friends. Yes.
They do a lot of foster work, and they had another pit mix that kind of came in there and had a really bad paw accident where it got like stuck in a trap or was a victim of abuse or something. Thought she was going to lose her leg. Katie was like, if this dog loses a leg, we are absolutely adopting it. We're concerned nobody's going to get it. So I'm like, all right, babe. Like, I love puppies. But, for home defense purposes, if we have a deaf one and a 3-legged one, we are in a problematic situation. It seems like I'm taking the brunt of the work here.
Yeah.
Ended up being able to save her leg. She's got a lot of scar tissue work. She's a little bow-legged, but adorable. So, yeah, I have all that in the house. I like to joke that none of the women in my house listen to me very much, but...
Oh,
they're
because
all
you have 2 little girl doggies.
Yeah,
Aww.
they're all girls, yeah. All girls and 1 deaf and none of them really listen to me.
So only 2 of them really listen to you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm hesitant to say any of them do, but I understand.
Yeah, I was gonna say this.
Oh, I guess
Ultimately,
okay. That's
it
fair.
makes sense.
Okay.
I understand.
I get it. I'm back in on the joke now.
But those are my babies.
Oh, so wait, how old are they?
Oh my gosh, how dare
we
you?
go.
I can't remember. I want to say 6 and 5.
Okay, so they're still pretty young.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll
Okay.
get off this podcast case and be like 7 and 6. How could you not know that?
How did you
Yeah,
not
there's
know?
gonna be like a little asterisk
know, I'm
mark
sorry.
in it, like after
Do we
release.
really know we
Date
adopted
of
them?
birth, which is so funny. I was actually like thinking about this recently. It's like when you rescue a dog, you don't really know when their date of birth was, unless they're
Right.
from like a breeder situation that they had to
No.
be taken. You
Yeah,
know?
you're making my case for me.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's all kind of ambiguous.
It's subjective.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
for sure.
So like when I rescued my first dog as an adult, his birthday just ended up being June 24th.
And don't they really rescue us?
Who rescued who? That's true. So yeah, so I think I'm like that's why I love like the adoption day. Like happy adoption.
And we got to give
blah,
Monster
blah,
props for Ashley. She does a lot of awesome work for dogs in the community and pets in the community.
blah. Who was it?
You.
Oh, me? Oh my gosh, stop.
Yeah.
I thought we were about to talk about Barks and Bakes.
Oh yeah, no, that's not me. I'm not involved.
Well,
But
isn't Katie friends?
Katie's friends.
That's
with
what.
who
That's
runs it.
somebody
Yeah.
that makes.
They do dog treats and they do
treats.
stuff for
Yeah,
animals.
and she comes to a
Check
lot of
it if you get some time.
markets. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's really great.
But I have no involvement.
It's so funny because I remember names of businesses before I remember people's names. So
I'm sure the bark spot. You're like, all right, make a note of this one. It has to do with puppies.
I would say I feel like anything that deals with like dogs,
Yeah,
you
she's
tend to
aware
like
of. Yeah.
yeah,
like
yeah,
your
yeah.
memory recall is faster than most people.
Well,
The
that's
grass vendor, you're not really paying attention to.
what.
Whatever, like grass or. I
The
don't
new
know what
guava
they say.
juice,
Yeah,
like
whatever.
Well,
it is.
yeah.
you're like, no, but wait, this dog was. Oh yeah, this was founded by the Three-Legged Dog Association. Like, of course I know who that is.
Yeah, we're gonna support it. Look at their pictures; they're adorable.
Yeah. So okay. Well, thank you for chatting dogs with me because
Anytime, man.
I love that. So, okay, we can move on.
All right, what are you, a cat guy? I
No,
love all pets. For
no.
the record.
I have
okay,
two
you don't have to be
adopted-
like
I
so
have-
offended. They're all great.
I
We
have
all
2
love
adopted
pets.
dogs as well. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Yeah,
look at
see?
us.
I got
we didn't even talk about that.
I got an Akita and a Norwegian Elk Hound,
Oh my god.
and they.
Elk hound.
Oh yeah,
Do you let them sleep in bed? Is the question.
absolutely not.
Yeah. Oh,
First off,
How dare you, sir?
First off, the Norwegian Elk Hound is like 45 pounds. She could probably fit. The Akita is 80 pounds. He's not getting up
Sounds
there.
adorable. How dare
Absolutely
you.
not. His big head is not getting
You should
anywhere.
see how little room I have in my bed. I mean, it's like, it's borderline insulting and offensive.
I hope you have like at least a king.
No.
Oh
we
my
have a
God.
queen, and it's,
Yeah.
Katie's like refuses.
That's so
Since
funny.
I've been with her, she's like, I sleep in the middle. That's like where I sleep. And then both the dogs like want to get different sides, and they go through shifts. So I'm just pretty much like, cool. I guess I'll exist on 4 hours of sleep.
See, Dot is 14 pounds and Nero is like 9 pounds. So
Yeah, that's
and we have a
manageable.
king, so
We got probably like
We're good.
60 and 38. That's probably how big they are.
I'm living the life.
Yeah, must
Tiny
be great.
dogs.
Yeah, but see, the thing with mine is one tore both of his ACLs, and I didn't realize dogs had ACLs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have ACLs.
Yeah.
And yes, they have ACL surgery for
Yeah,
dogs.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
worked
was-
in vet
he-
med for,
That was probably a
for
fun
10
experience.
years. So.
It was so much
What
fun.
was the rehab like?
It was like 3 months of him being in a crate and the cone of shame.
That doesn't sound
Yeah,
fun at all.
and like only leash walks to go out to go because Dash
Yes.
when we had him when he was 1 year old he had his patella popped out, which is his kneecap popped out of place.
Yeah.
So to the point where it wouldn't just automatically pop back in, and he had to have knee surgery to bolt it back into place. And the post op for that was super annoying. But that was my little Craigslist baby.
And we'll be back with more dog injuries.
Right after
We're
this.
turning into a veterinarian podcast.
I mean, you know. Well, Scott can make sure
Give
we
the
don't get.
people what they want.
But yeah, we do have something else to briefly talk about, so we should probably take a quick break and come back and talk about that, right?
We're not breaking.
We're not going to break?
We're rolling with
oh my
this
God.
sucker.
Okay, all
I'm so
right.
excited. Oh my God.
All right, so
Sheesh.
do you want me to just roll into that then?
Roll.
Roll into it. So
Paul by Paul.
I almost jokingly thought it would be interesting to talk to you about First Amendment auditors.
Okay.
So, and the reason I say that is because First Amendment auditors, like obviously, like on YouTube, they're a big thing. They are basically making sure that government employees and the government are doing their job. They're letting you stop smiling. Wait.
But wait, there's more.
It's a very fair assessment, for sure.
They're asking questions. They're asking for to see certain things that should be available to the public. the way they go about it is sometimes a little controversial, and I've experienced it before because I sat at the front desk. And the clerk's office being right around me, they've experienced it with me as well, to where we have people come in with their video cameras and their, whatever, asking questions and stuff like that. And so I kind of wanted to just have you briefly talk about, like, as a government employee, how should we be handling that? Like, what are they... in general, what are they allowed to ask for, and what spaces are they allowed to be in? You're
not really going to love the answer.
I know,
it's classic lawyer, like, it depends, essentially.
I love when he does this.
Well, I mean, again, like, it's complicated because ultimately it's multifaceted in that it balances public records law, it balances First Amendment expression, it balances just, like, polite conduct and kind of what restrictions you can kind of place on that. So there's no really, like, easy paragraph answer I can kind of give you.
Yeah.
So take public records law, for instance. Can somebody show up and ask for anything? Most records are going to be public. They have a right to request that. They don't have to give us their name. They don't have to tell us why they're asking for it. So understanding just those parameters of North Carolina public records law, like, can somebody show up with kind of like half their face covered and not give their name and say, I want this weird record? Like, you have.
And does it have to be requested in writing?
No,
or
it doesn't have to be requested in writing.
That was going to be my question.
Now, best case and best practices is for you to put it in writing so we kind of have some documentation on what's going on. We can be sure we're getting what you want, and there's no, like, kind of miscommunication about that.
But that falls on the city employee. So if they don't want to provide it in writing.
Well, some places can, like, establish kind of their protocol for how they're going to do that. You can have, like, a reasonable, like, we're going to do this, but you can't mandate that they do it in writing. You can't mandate that they give you their name or explain, like, why they're asking for the records. So knowing all that, you can see how if you're unfamiliar with that concept and somebody shows up and they're like, I'm not going to tell you who I am, I'm not going to tell you what's going on, and
it's
a really kind of sketchy kind of environment. And then on top of that, as a governmental entity, you got a First Amendment expression to, like, kind of show up and kind of protest or to speak and kind of speak, like, so where you're at, like, in law, there's these things called traditional public forums, there's limited public forums. So, like, if you're at a traditional public forum, very little the government can do to restrict you. You got a First Amendment fundamental right to kind of express yourself and to do it in a way that's, as long as you're not hurting somebody, essentially. So take something like the public park, or take, like, the sidewalks in front of City Hall. Like, all that's kind of a traditional public forum. So, like, we can't really stop you from doing what you want if you're going to show up there and just kind of make a statement, or you want to try to film around. Like, that's all kind of within your purview. Now, the City Hall lobby, kind of a different thing, right? Like, there's not really settled case law on it. A lot of it thinks we can kind of place some limited kind of reasonable restrictions on how we're going to control conduct or behavior or anything like that. Now, does that mean somebody can show up and just start screaming and, like, breaking stuff? Of course not.
Right.
Like, there's going to be criminal culpability for that kind of stuff. We can ask you to leave. All that stuff's fair. Now, we have restricted access at City Hall. That's not, you don't get to just, like, come around and go on restricted access stuff. So, like, there are some kind of boundary lines, but you can see, as I'm saying this, like, kind of depends on how they're behaving, kind of depends on how they're carrying themselves. We're also a one-party consent state in regards to recording. So, like, you can record. I've been recorded a bunch. We have a couple individuals that kind of fall under this purview that show up, and you just try to be respectful, try to give them what they want as promptly as you possibly can. Now, does that mean sometimes it's not uncomfortable if they're being belligerent or they're making staff uncomfortable or whatever that all kind of happens to, especially if they're, like, they feel aggrieved or particularly upset about a particular issue, whatever it is. That's kind of where it gets a little contentious. I try to tell the clerks, the ladies up front, like, just call me. I'll try to go there and deal with it as best I can. But, fun for me, for sure.
Well, I will say... I
hope that answers your question.
It does. No, it helps a lot because one person who I always kind of, like, looked to for... And this was before you started. I think you worked with Kamala for a little bit, maybe not.
Think so, yeah.
But Kamala was a former employee of the city clerk's office, and there was a period of time where we were getting, like, back-to-back First Amendment auditors. And at one point in time, Cam was like, don't worry, I got it. And she went and she handled it.
Yeah.
She did great. When you go, when I went and followed up and watched that YouTube video of her interaction, all the people in the comments were like, finally, an employee, a government employee who knows what they're doing and who knows how it works. And I swear, I was thinking about it and I was like, I really don't think that we've had anybody like that, and like specifically First Amendment auditors for their YouTube channel or whatever, coming in for that reason.
Well, again, I mean, it's a complicated. I mean, this is something like cops mess up sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's people with law training that don't have the best handle on this sometimes. When I was in Aden, same thing. They had people coming around doing it. It was spreading really across the state for a really long time. So how you handle that and that process, sometimes it's a lot more combative than probably it needs to be. Some people get a little defensive. Like, all that stuff shapes kind of how the interaction is going to take place. At least from my time at the city, it seems like everybody's trying to be respectful and polite and kind of, point you in the direction they can, answer whatever questions they can. But at the same time, like, if I'm not there and somebody shows up and they start grilling you about First Amendment stuff, like, how do you handle that? Like, and if they posted you on the comments, they might be like, this lady doesn't know about First Amendment. Like, you can't really control that reaction. But, I think we got a pretty good procedure set in place. I think we've handled it.
It all boils down to ultimately, like, respecting people and
1,000%.
you getting that back.
That's a big
and especially as city employees, government employees in general, like, our job is to be there to serve. And so just...
And, we have to deal with stuff like a regular private business owner wouldn't have to necessarily, because we serve in that capacity. Like,
we can't just say, get out.
Yeah, you're banned from City Hall for, like, no reason at all. Like, you're going to have a right to kind of go to City Hall. Now, that doesn't mean you can, like, threaten staff or anything, but, if you're a little disruptive, we probably have to give you a little more of a benefit than other people.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, because, like, when we talk about, like, you have the right to protest and do things like that, I feel like it's unique for us, too, because, well, at least in City Hall, when you walk into work, you could literally walk past a whole bunch of people protesting stuff outside the doors that you have to walk through to get into work. And I've done it, and it's, like, weird because before I worked in government, you didn't have that. You'd see people protesting things, but they was never, like, your place of work that you have to walk through, and you're just kind of like...
Yeah, I've been, like, screamed at least, like, 5 times since I've been
so it's just
luckily,
weird.
I teach at ECU, and I did that defense work, so I'm kind of used to it. But still, it's a jarring introduction with your coffee on some days.
Yeah.
You're, like, just strolling in and, like, I hate you.
Yeah, or whatever topic they're passionate about. You're like, I don't even know anything about this.
When the crypto debate stuff were going on, we had a lot of that, and Camping World, and obviously the ice stuff. There's been a lot of
balloons.
Balloons.
I don't think I was here for the balloon stuff.
The balloon stuff, there was a lot of water balloons and things.
What was the controversy with water balloons?
Well,
I think it was just
was it like hot air balloons? Or?
No, I think it was just literally the release of balloon releases, but it kind of like
turned into a free-for-all of like balloons just shouldn't be a thing. I
saw some municipality was restricting balloons.
Yeah, Emerald Isle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, I guess the ultimate point of that was that the balloons, if they don't get picked up appropriately, get into our environment and they cause problems that way. But there's also the other side that's like, well, how are you going to restrict, like, if a baby accidentally lets go of a balloon while they're walking in the grocery store parking lot kind of thing. So it's
it takes you to a very common instance of, like, all right, you can see how, like, ideologically two people might vehemently disagree about how to handle that situation, right? It's like none of us want, like, animals to get into balloons, none of us want, like, noxious fumes to be released, nothing. But do you want government to control how you're going to do water balloons, or, like, how do you want this to go down? Like, you can see how I can talk to 100 people and get 70 different answers. So.
I did just recently discover, and I don't know if this helps or hurts the environmental impact of things, but reusable water balloons.
Oh yeah, those things are awesome.
Like I guess they're like magnetic or something, so you fill them.
I have them. They're phenomenal.
Does that not hurt more?
Not really. Well, it might hurt my son more when I throw it at him, but when he throws them at me, they're just like, oh, it's a water balloon.
I was like okay, but then
I look forward to my nephews just rocking me with that.
Oh, they're so much fun.
Yeah, it'll be great.
But well, thank you for
mildly concise
entertaining us with First Amendment auditors. Sorry, I almost said second, not second.
That'd be different.
That would be different.
That's a different amendment.
That's a different podcast.
It's a different amendment for sure.
That's the next hour of the podcast. Just kidding.
I'm gonna dip out real quick. But
bathroom break.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, thank you, Scott.
I'm pumped you guys didn't ask ECU questions, so that's good. I was expecting, like, some college stuff.
We thought about it.
Yeah. I think it was on the list.
Cool.
It's on the list. It's just,
but we could talk to you for like another hour probably.
Oh, that's sweet. Or and so I don't really know, but we're framing it good. I feel like it's been okay. You got any more?
I'm good. I'm just kidding. We'll get one more, just because I kind of want to touch on two different things at the same time. Jokingly about the ECU thing. So obviously, teaching ECU, that's something that's obviously important to you, and obviously you're passionate about it because you're still doing it. Talk about what it's like to, obviously, what classes do you actually teach, and then kind of like what kind of brought you into wanting to do that? Because I feel like that's another thing to add, and I feel like attorneys are always so busy as it is.
I mean, luckily for me, the city is gracious enough to let me kind of do that twice a week through my lunch. I've taught essentially 3 kind of pre-law, upper-level political science classes, American judiciary, civil liberties, and constitutional powers. And for me, I mean, I kind of just fell into it ultimately, but when I went to ECU, they didn't really have an established pre-law program, so you kind of had a few that were kind of like mildly related to topics, but you didn't have like a lawyer from North Carolina teaching it or anything like that. So like to me, I'm really just trying to give the kids kind of what I didn't have, which is some exposure to the terminology, like the thinking process, some introduction to like Socratic lecturing, things like that. They're like, if you can show up to law school and have just that kind of head start, like awesome. Like you're leaps and bounds ahead of kids that haven't been exposed to those kind of law is so subjective in regards to like whatever major you're kind of coming into wildly switches up kind of your preparation. So like usually they recommend like philosophy or English or something that's like pretty writing intensive and analytical reasoning and all this kind of stuff. If you don't have that, like you're at a huge kind of disadvantage. So
Right.
I try to be like a very easy grader and give them some exposure to that. But I'm sure mildly deficient in regards to being an instructor. It's kind of cool though. My brother's at the School of Government, so I think we've had it 2 or 3 times now where we both kind of taught the same person or somebody's kind of come through to him.
cool.
It's pretty gnarly.
That is
So what's your Rate My Professor rating right
I
now?
haven't checked it. I'm hoping great. I'm sure it's excellent.
that was such a huge thing.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of changed it.
They've changed
They got
it
rid
a
of the
bit.
hot tamale stuff and
Yeah.
really drastically changed it.
Yeah, my brother-in-law got like the hot spicy chili pepper thing next to his Rate My Professor
always
thing,
felt
and I
like
always
My
found
mom
it
got it.
hysterical.
I think my mom got it, and I was like bummed out.
Yeah, that could
She
lead
taught
to
yoga, and I was like, I'm not going on the site anymore.
But from like a student perspective, because obviously I've never been a professor or teacher in any capacity. So from a student perspective, back in 2017, rating a professor.
Ash was like, not cute.
No, but like rating a professor and then being asked like, do you want to rate like chili peppers? I'm like, no. Why do I want to? Why?
So you were appalled at that time.
I wasn't appalled, but it was just like awkward because
Well, that's what happened. I think one of the teachers got upset. they either got it or didn't get it, and then they led to protests.
like
and
the
they
chili
removed
pepper
it.
expired a long time ago.
You can
Just
see how
kidding.
it's broaching,
Yeah, weird.
uncomfortable
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I always thought it was a little strange, but now my best friend's a teacher, and she's like, I wish they had it. So
I wanna
that
know.
I could know, and I'm like, I don't know. If we
Yeah, I
want-
don't think I'd really want
I
those.
don't. I don't.
I don't think I'd want the pepper. I mean, I was a professor too for a little while, and I don't think I'd want the pepper. I think I'd want to be like, man, I've really enjoyed his class, and
Yeah.
Yeah, you want
which
just
I've got.
positive feedback,
Thankfully,
yeah.
I got those,
And
but
best
like
beard in the game.
right, it was a little less than it was a little more a little shorter
Yeah.
and
You
way
grew it
less
out for you
gray.
to sit it. Yeah.
I don't think there was a gray hair there. Oh God, that makes me feel
Okay.
worse.
Yeah, we're getting older. It's sad. We're doing our best.
We are right. But I feel like I'd rather take the compliment than like
Right.
the pepper. But
Well, because I don't think a chili pepper is going to get you a raise.
Oh, they don't give phrases like that.
no,
Oh well, I'm just.
they're just like,
It's a
did you do your
university
job?
system.
Congratulations.
Yeah. You're gonna come
You
back.
fulfilled your contract.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
My
You
bad. Sorry, guys.
It's fine.
I support the teachers.
Yeah, as do I.
Heck yeah, man.
They just got a raise with a new budget, right?
Families of teachers,
Very
man. That's what
much
I'm here for.
needed and well deserved.
Right. 100%. So, all right.
Well, perfect. Scott, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
And
me.
you kicked it up with a notch. That's what we keep
I
trying
watched
to.
the Ken one and the Bella one, man. They were both awesome. You guys do a great job.
The question is, will you watch your own? I feel like it's awkward to watch your own.
I mean, I'll probably check it to see how poorly I come off, but ultimately,
Poorly.
We'll have a
So
peer review.
self-deprecating.
I'm gonna trust you guys with the
A
editing.
peer review.
I will say I have had one person. I went to the scullery one morning that one person said that he watched one of the episodes, and this was like 2 weeks ago, and he hadn't watched Bella's yet, and he was like, I loved it. It was great. I can't wait to watch
Look
Bella's.
at you guys getting fans already.
Well, and then
come
we
on,
have
that's
now we
exciting.
also have interns with the city manager's office now, and one of our interns was like, hey, you're on the podcast, right? And I was like, yeah.
You guys are blowing up. The
And
cool kids.
she
I mean,
was like,
admittedly.
I watched both of them, and you guys are so good. And I was like, thank you so much. As a former intern, I'm like, thank you.
Oh yeah, I always forget you were a former intern. That's so gnarly. It's cool how I will say something really awesome about the city I've noticed is how they kind of keep it in house with that kind of stuff. So we've
Yeah.
had 2 or 3 interns that are now in like
Yes.
these different positions, and it's just kind of awesome to see
Yeah.
people come from college to like professional careers.
Yeah, it is. It's nice.
Yeah,
But, you know, Chris Kelly, if you're watching, I miss you.
yeah, he left us.
I know. He was my first, like, my intern year. He was with me, so.
I'll tell you, he did all the presentations though for like a long time for a lot of topics. He, I think the promotion was well deserved, and
Yeah.
he's pumped to kind of get closer. to
Yeah,
him, so.
yeah.
But we do
He
miss
earned
him.
it. He deserves it. All the good things. But yes. Okay, so and we've probably been talking way too long.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a podcast. That's what you're supposed to.
Yeah,
it's
but
fine.
yes, thank you, Scott. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you guys for having me. It was a great time.
Yes, so-
Absolutely. All right, well, that'll do it for episode Trace of the Green Tea Podcast. Super excited, had a lot of fun. Scott, thank you so much again for joining us. This has been fun. We'll see you guys for episode 4 for the Green Tea Podcast. We're really excited. Also, small PSA, if you're interested in boards and commissions, go to the city's website and look into that process so you can kind of help be involved in part of that, legal process for some of the things. If you want to see some changes in the city, it's a great way to get yourself involved and get your voice heard and to make some real impact. So with that, it's been fun for Scott and Ashley. I'm Ryan. This has been another episode of the Green Tea Podcast. We'll see you next episode.
Bye-bye.